Hi everyone, welcome back to MMA UK. I'm Jared Miller. It's a pleasure to be joined from across the Atlantic by Bellator heavyweight contender Saïd Sowma. Saïd, how are we, mate?
Hey man, how you doing? Doing good.
Good to hear. And I know you're taking the time out of your day after what would have been a very hard day of training, I'm guessing, for you today. I saw on your socials that you were training with Arlovsky as well. Just wondered how your recent training's been going.
Pretty good camp so far. I think one of my best ones yet. Um, and yeah, Andre and I have been training a while together for a couple of years now, I think. So yeah, it's good. Pretty good camp.
Good. And looking forward to your fight. You're taking on a heavyweight veteran in Tim Johnson at Bellator 294. How much are you looking forward to that fight?
Pretty excited for it. I think it's a good fight. Um, he's a big name, you know. I get to challenge myself again with someone who's been tested against other big names. He's not just, some guy coming up. So I think it's a good fight. I'm pretty excited.
And how do you see Johnson as an opponent from the point of view that how are you planning for the fight?
Um, Same old man, like move around. I'm the small heavyweight, so gotta use my speed advantage. Gotta see what he opens up for me, what he gives me, and just try to be faster.
And obviously, you mentioned there that he's fought some big names. He's obviously fought the likes of Fedor. He's ex-UFC as well. When you see somebody that you're fighting with a record like that, does that motivate you even further?
I think I do better against guys like this than guys who haven't because I'm more nervous. I think, or yeah, more motivated, nervous, however you want to look at it. But it puts a bigger, um, it's like a bigger weight on my shoulders. Like more stress, and I want to do better.
Yeah. And, coming into the fight, you are coming into the fight off of the back of two losses, but two very close losses in terms of split decisions. Um, what can you take from those fights, learn, train, and then implement coming into this next one?
So from what I've learned is that the way I fight, it doesn't look like I'm winning when I fight, if that makes sense. Even though I didn't get hit, so in the fight, I'm like, man, he's missing everything. I'm doing fine. It's great. From the judge's perspective, I'm fighting backwards. I'm circling back in. I don't know. I'm not sure what, but I just have to make sure I get more aggressive and try to finish fights more.
Mm. And although you did come up short in those fights, as you've mentioned, I always wonder with fighters who come off the back of split decision losses, do you watch those back and do you think you were hard done by with the scoring, or do you think actually that was scored correctly, or it could have gone my way?
I think it could have gone either way because it was pretty close. How whatever the judges saw that that maybe I didn't. I do know that with the last fight that they thought I think I got check hooked and I hit the top of my head and I slipped and popped right back up. They thought it was a knockdown. Um, so that's what they saw. So if it was a knockdown, yes, I would be like, all right, he got a point because nothing much happened in the rest of the fight. But at the same time, if I took him down twice, got on top. So it's whatever the judges sees it. The only thing I know is that I need to finish fights and do my job, no matter what else can happen.
Yeah, and as you keep mentioning finishing fights, Tim Johnson is obviously he has been finishing his career, whether that's by submission or knockout. Is that something that you see, and then you see, okay, he's been chinned there, he's been taken down here. Is that where you see the advantages coming from?
Yeah, there's definitely some wear and tear on his body. He's been in it for a long time, and all those times he's been knocked out, I believe it does affect the fighter. So that's an advantage for me. And I know that he doesn't do much jujitsu. So if it does go to the ground, I think I have the advantage for sure.
Yeah, and across your whole career, you have only not lost by decision once, sorry, I should say, and that was in your first ever fight. Since then, you've gone the distance every time if you have been on the wrong end of a decision. Is that resilience something you pride yourself on?
Yeah, I do. I think I'm a pretty tough guy. I got good cardio. I won't quit. I enjoy fighting, so even in the battle. You know, you're like, oh man, I'm so tired, I want to stop, but you really don't. You look at yourself worse if you were to stop than to go out on your shield, kind of thing. You know.
Yeah, definitely. And one of the main reasons I was interested in talking to you today as well is that you obviously fight from American Top Team, somewhere that's won, Gym of the Year countless times. It's had some and has still got some world-class fighters on it. How much do you think your overall game has improved since moving over to American Top Team?
See, I've never been to another gym, so I can't really compare to other coaches. I do know that in smaller gyms, you get a little more one-on-one attention, you know, like the benefits of it. But then in the big gyms, you have high level coaching, or you know, sometimes small gyms have high level coaches too. It's just it all depends. But our coaches are like the best of the best, and when I do get the attention, I think it's very high quality. Definitely made up some big improvements. I've been working a lot with Artem and Mo this camp, Artem Levin and Mo Moloa.
Yeah.
So yeah, we just always working to get better and working on my mentality more than anything. I think is what Artem is focused on.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that because a lot of fighters talk about how they need to train for a fight physically, but as you just mentioned, you need to train yourself mentally as well for the kind of environment you're going into. Is that a big part of the preparations at American Top Team?
For me personally, it is because I'm a very nice guy. It's hard for me to like enter like that big mode. I was a sparring partner for a while, so when I go to a fight, I just feel like it's sparring. I don't get nervous. I'm like, okay, it's like training. Like, it's the same thing, just a couple of oohs and ahs on the outside. But I'm trying to get rid of that mentality. And, you know, it's my career. I got to push further than that. It's got to mean something more than just, oh, yeah, I'm going sparring.
Yeah, and you kind of touched upon it there as well that you've been in Bellator since 2020 now. You've had 5 fights. You've had some great wins against the likes of Minakov and Marks as well. How do you see your Bellator career so far, and how much have you enjoyed the experience?
Definitely enjoyed the experience. I think it's pretty crazy to live like this, you know, like growing up, you want to be a fighter and then you just become one. You're on TV, you're doing all the stuff, you're just training all day. That was my dream always, just to train all day. And then, oh, what was this first part of the question? Sorry.
So you kind of answered it already, but I'll extend it a bit further. Obviously, you used to fight in promotions like Titan.
Okay.
How did you see the move over from Bellator? Sorry, the move into Bellator from promotions like Titan. Was there a massive step up in competition, or was the level about what you expected?
Well, yeah, this the competition is definitely higher than the local pro fights. And then the promotion itself. I don't know if have you ever fought by any chance?
So no, I've never been in an octagon myself. I did a bit of
Oh,
boxing when I was younger, but I've never been in a octagon myself.
okay. It's generally when you get to a fight, they give you gloves, they give you wraps. There's people there like looking over you, you know. But I've been in fights where I showed up, they're like, "Yeah, you have gloves." I was like, "All right, you can fight now." Like anyone can bring their own gloves. Hopefully, you wrap your hands. They
Yeah.
didn't cup check. They didn't. Oh no, they did cup check. I apologize.
Yeah.
They did cup check, but that was it. You know, like I could have put metal in my gloves and it would have been fine. I was brought in as an underdog. I was Owen was my second pro fight. I was 0-1, and I fought the promoter's son as a co-main event. He had 26 or something fights, you know, so I was brought in to lose. Who knows what he had in his gloves?
Yeah, exactly. You say that, and as you say, you know, at those lower levels, at those local levels, the production value, the behind the scenes stuff maybe isn't the same standard. Well, it isn't the same standard as promotions like Bellator, but it is in fact that kind of local level that is it's the pedestal for the game, isn't it? It's how people come through and get into those
Yeah,
proper professional
yeah.
levels. Yeah. And did you coming as you ventured through promotion to promotion, moving over from training as a youngster and maybe amateur fights as well, did you find that I was ready for this level as soon as you stepped into the octagon?
Yeah, man. I was training for a long time before I went pro because I tried to finish school first, but I kept training anyway. I never missed a day because that's just what I like to do. That's what I find. That's what I enjoy is just working out. So I was always I could fight any day, any second, you know. And then the only thing is with the when I fought Maori the first time, well, when I fought Maori in for my first pro fight, I was fully trained. It was more of a mental thing where I haven't competed in 5 years, and the adrenaline got to me, you know. So training is just part of my life.
Yeah, definitely. And I saw you mentioned before that, and you've just mentioned it there as well, that the Bellator title and the Bellator rankings are what's on your mind at the minute. If you beat Tim Johnson, do you think you're deserving of a top 10 Bellator ranking? Because obviously he is ranked sixth at the minute.
I personally don't understand their ranking system, so I don't know what's gonna happen. Really, I do want to fight someone above me after. I'm coming from a 2 fight loss, but I'm fighting rank 6, you know, but he also came out of 3 losses, I think. So I'm not sure what position that would put me in. I kind of want to fight Steve Mowry again.
Hmm.
I think to be, you know, it's been long enough. We both had like what 4 or 5 years in between,
Yeah,
and he just came off a draw. So if I, you know, if I win this, maybe I have the right to challenge him. He's above me, I'm pretty sure. So
hmm.
that'd be cool.
Okay. That's interesting. And outside of the octagon, you're big on social media, posting training videos and skits with your teammates all the time. Is that something that you're really interested in as well?
I'm trying to, man. I got a bunch of jokes and I just want to tell them. Not everyone thinks they're funny, obviously, but I I enjoy it for myself. Yeah, it's just some stupid things that happen in the gym that you talk about with your friends, but you know, no one knows about it, what it is to be a fighter, or what the gym life is like, you know. So it's obviously blown out of proportion, but that's what happens in the gym. And I just thought they were funny, like little things.
Definitely. I think it's interesting as well for, as we mentioned, people like myself who don't take part in MMA professionally or at that level where we can see the kind of the lives of a athlete like yourself training from day to day. So I would keep up with it because it is really interesting to see people like yourself and how you train. And in terms of the training around American Top Team again and how you make the skits and the training videos around it, is that something that other people you find other people want to get involved in as well?
My friends, at least they do. If I ask them, they're always like, "Yeah, man, let's do it." Like they're excited about it.
Yeah.
And except there's one friend who didn't like him, and he was honest with it. I'm like, cool, man, thank you, appreciate your honesty. But but whatever, you know.
Yeah. Fair
Mo
enough.
likes him.
That's all you need then. That's all you need.
Yeah, King Mo likes him. He's hilarious, man. He's
Yeah.
he's into WWE stuff, so he's
Oh,
got the acting down.
crazy stuff then. Much crazier than me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And finally, mate, how do you see the future looking for Saïd Sowma?
Right now, it's in the balance of this fight, man. If this fight goes good, I'll be in the Bellator rankings. I'll be hopefully fighting Steve Murray again soon, and that's as far as I can look. But right now, I got to just focus on this one.